This is Leslie Germain, and today we're going to work on King Pigeon in 10 minutes. So I'm going to guide you through some poses pretty quickly to get you into King Pigeon. And I just want to preface this by saying that getting into King Pigeon is hard enough to do in our class. So lower your expectations about how deep you're going to get in 10 minutes, and know that you can replay this video or stay longer in the poses by pressing pause to help you open up and feel King Pigeon deeper, okay? So first we're gonna start in a standing position and find a wall. And if you don't have a wall nearby, you can even use a table, because what we're working on is opening the chest here. So imagine there's an invisible wall right in front of me. I reach my arms and my hands up to the wall, and then I allow my chest to fall forward into the wall, sticking my tushy out. And keep reaching the fingers up, melting the heart through. 3 more breaths like this. If there's too much tension, draw the gaze forward instead of up. We're really working on finding length right here. Last breath. Exhale. Coming down to your mat or the floor. You don't need a mat for yoga. Happy baby pose. So with 10 minutes, I don't have a ton of time to align you through every single pose, but I'll give you a few cues. For this one, I like to have the tailbone down instead of lifted. So you might have to let go of the feet for that to happen. And then dropping the right sole of the foot down, the left foot down, right foot crosses over, figure 4, hugging the knee into the chest. Flexing both feet to protect the knee joints. And then for the figure 4, really work on opening up that hip. So you might need to draw that right knee away from the body to feel a stretch along the outer hip flexors. And then dropping that right foot down, left foot crosses over, hugging the knee into your chest to switch sides. Beginning to soften the jaw here. Maybe pushing the left hip away for the last breath. And then giving yourself a hug to roll forward and up onto your knees. Virasana pose. I like to have a block for this one. Placing a block right underneath the sit bones and having a seat. Knees together, feet on the outside edges of your hip. Now, some of you don't need a block. You can move that out of the way as long as the knees aren't hurting at all here. If you have any achiness in your knees, bring the block back underneath your sit bones. Now we're gonna work a little bit more on the shoulders here, bringing the fingertips pointing away from you. And then begin to push the arms down to find a little lift in the chest. And maybe look up to the sky for 3, 2, last breath. Exhale, tucking the belly back in. And if it feels okay, dropping down to both forearms. If that still feels okay in both the back, the thighs, and the knees, you can go all the way down to the ground. And what we're working on here is finding a stretch in the front of the thighs. Now, if you're super flexible and open, you may have to actually lift the hips slightly, drawing the knees forward to feel this stretch. And we'll take a few more breaths here. Awesome. Dropping the hips back down, pushing yourself back up, coming into a tabletop position, and then just giving your feet a little taps. All right. Coming up onto your knees, preparing for camel pose. And we start with our knees about hip distance apart, but you might like to bring your knees a little wider to like the outer hips. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, dropping the hands down to the lower back region. Inhale, lengthen the spine, especially that mid back here. And then exhale, draw the hips forward. Each breath we move. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hips push forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. And then slowly pushing yourself back up, coming down to a seat, hands to knees. Taking a moment here just to notice any sensations that may have come up. And we'll do one more camel. You can repeat that exact same version, or if it feels okay in your low back, reaching back for your tucked or untucked ankles. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, drawing yourself back either to the low back or reaching back for your ankles. And just like we were doing earlier, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hips go forward. Inhale. 3 more breaths like this. And then coming back up, maybe at the same time, maybe one side at a time. Tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Hopefully you've already done a sun salutation video. I have one called Move Your Body. Inhale, send the right leg up. Exhale, bringing the right knee over to the right wrist, pigeon pose. Because the warmer our body here is, the easier it is to open up in a faster, safer way. If your hips are really tight here, consider bringing a block right underneath that right quad, hamstring. My dog's looking at me funny. All right, active pigeon, bringing our hands down to our sides, and then squeezing those inner thighs in and up and lifting. So, when you're ready, inhale, squeeze those inner thighs toward each other. Everything's hugging in, and maybe the torso begins to lift. Hands can come to heart center if you're feeling stable. If not, hands stay down. Maybe the arms rise for 3. Belly button draws in for 2. Last breath, exhale, slowly coming down, sleepy pigeon. Softening the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing into areas that are holding any tension. And then walking ourselves back up, hands under shoulders. We have options here coming into King Pigeon. Maybe our back is telling us, I don't know, I want to go any further, or maybe it feels really nice. First, we're going to start by trying to kick our butt. Kicking the butt. Hamstring curls. And you can continue doing this action, or eventually reaching that left foot back, kicking your foot into your hand, and then kicking your foot away from you. Drawing the sole of the foot down towards the body, and maybe the forearm begins to slide around. Eventually the elbow hooks into the ankle. Gazing forward, chest lifts up and away just like camel. Arm reaches up. King Pigeon. We're not going to go to the full expression today, only because 10 minutes is not enough time to do enough back bends to safely get there. Exhale, release, leaning to the right side. Left leg goes forward, right leg goes back. Taking a glance behind you, just making sure that that foot's actually back and not diagonal out to the corner. Once again, active pigeon here. Use the blocks if you need them. Pushing down into the blocks, squeezing the inner thighs in, and breathing here for 5, 4, 3. Keep squeezing everything together. 2, 1. Exhale. Sleepy, sleepy pigeon. Let it go. Forget it ever happened. Softening the breath, softening the jaw. And maybe you feel really good and you just want to stay here, taking a little nap, or perhaps you want to come into that most majestic bird known as King Pigeon. Everybody loves the king. Starting by kicking our butt, well, trying to. If you can kick your butt, let me know. Comment below. That's very impressive. Eventually maybe twisting and reaching back for that foot, and then slowly drawing it in, the arm pulling it down while my forearm slides across until eventually the elbow and the ankle hook together, shifting the chest forward. Inhale, arm rises. King Pigeon. Notice your breath here. If it's starting to get shaky, let out. Don't go so deep. Last breath. Exhale, slowly lowering, releasing the foot, rolling onto the left hip so both legs come forward. Just to counteract all that back bending, we want to do a forward fold. And this is going to be a super gentle forward fold. It's one of my favorites. Allowing the knees to go wide, wrapping the arms around the legs, just to give yourself a nice little hug. And the head can fall either on top of the knees or in between. And you're gonna take about 10 breaths here. Just nice and deep, slow breaths. Once again, inviting the shoulders to release away from the ears. Softening the jaw, the backs of the eyes. And taking such a deep inhale that your breath expands top to bottom and out, expanding the ribcage. Take a few more breaths just like this. And there you have it, King Pigeon. Hopefully you had fun, and I will see you again soon. Namaste.